I had a weird, I don't want to say epiphany because it might not be true. I just had a weird insight. And I want to say this. I'm really comfortable on the topic of narcissism and psychology or psychopathy specifically because I personally took the time to not only learn it, but I've also taken psychology as a class. So, in other words, it's something I'm fond of and not necessarily a professional in. It's a mediated topic. You may or may not be able to even truly talk about it. But here's my theory. Because as someone that's unfortunately just naturally attractive, like whatever, say what you want to say, but you know, and being a white person, you can factor that in. You know, people like to say white people are the psychopaths, or someone commented that. And yeah, I can see that, you know, but to be psychotic is to be neurotic also. So you gotta consider that. Like, not all psychopaths are not or flat, which is weird to admit. You know, it's like to talk about them is to almost relate, or you know, it's a slippery slope. But what if the real psychopaths aren't who you think they are? Like, they always portray like psychopaths as like highly intelligent and attractive and all these things. But I think it's the opposite. Like, I think the real psychopaths use those types of things against people. Like, if you are super attractive and highly respectable and, you know, there's just a lot going on, like, I see it as them. Like, I feel like the real psychopaths you'll never see. And as someone that grew up in a narcissistic household, you know, they are nice on the outside, but on the inside, there's no connection there, right? And my point is, there's so much damage that can and has been done in situations like that, especially with family, that at the end of the day, it does take someone taking a step back to reevaluate the situation to truly get, if lucky, an idea of what's happening. Humans are pattern recognition seeking, so it's not weird to discuss these things. You know, this is a very tricky topic because I like to think about things like, if you are who you hang around, you become who you hang around. You know, like, all these things still factor into its own right. But yeah, you know, like American Psycho, like all these mob boss type mentality movies is like a fraction of a whole. Like, those people are still working for someone. Like, I think in reality, to have the spotlight on the main antagonist or protagonist in terms of through a psychological lens is to emphasize and sympathize with them as a victim themselves. Not to say like, oh, you killed someone. Like, no, I'm talking about in a hypothetical sense. Like, obviously, if you've killed people, and like there's a lot of different types of things and ways to hurt people, right? But that's why it's so tricky to talk about. Yet at the same time, if it takes one to know one, then the person playing the psychopath is just an idea. It's not the actual person. You understand what I'm saying? Like, in reality, being psychotic is annoying and disgusting, and it's like, go away. Like, when you deal with psychos, you get annoyed. Like, they're not fun. They're not, like, they're only smart in terms of how much they give a fuck about being smart or some shit. I don't know, all that stuff is aggravating. I mean, To each their own, and rightfully so, too. But just think about how weird that is. It's like, you think this hyper attractive person is a psycho. And then I was thinking about Princess and the Frog. Like, Prince Naveen, like, he was super attractive, but he was so nice. But everyone around him was like, nah, you know, he's privileged, he's this, he's that. And then it's like, this little fat man is doing voodoo. I forgot, his butler, I guess. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you don't have to be attractive to be an asshole. And then I've literally been around people that use their unattractiveness for their victim mentality. Like, they use it to their advantage. So it's like, yeah, you really don't know what you're dealing with.